We are live at the inaugural 2016 Food Tank Summit at the Gleacher Center in Chicago, Illinois. How y'all doing? I know you're watching the live stream on Facebook. We have a lot of guests coming in and out because there are a lot of interesting people who know a lot of stuff about food in America, in the world, and they're talking to each other and coming up with solutions for our food problems. My name is Mike Novak, and I have a show in Chicago, a radio show, The Mike Novak Show, and you can find me at MikeNovak.net. That's MikeNowak.net. Right now, streaming live on Facebook. You can go to The Mike Novak Show. You can go to Food Tank. You can go to Danny Nierenberg. You can go to Natural Awakenings Chicago. All of those sites are streaming, and we hope you participate. Hashtag Food Tank. Ask a question, make a comment. They'll slip me a little paper there and let me know what's going on. Right now, I'm proud to have next to me David McLennan from Cargill. David, let me start with a quote. You said, "Change in the global food system is constant, and change has driven enormous and incredible gains for humanity." Mm-hmm. Expand on that a little bit.
Well, if you look, Mike, over the decades, whether through farmer education, through the use of things like genetically modified organisms, have increased production. But I think modern technology, whether it be soil mapping or more awareness of weather and weather patterns, have allowed farmers around the world, primarily in North America and South America, to increase their production. The pace of change is increasing. People want more in the way of food and food choices, non-GM choices. So I think it all starts at the farm gate, and productivity and education of our farmers is really increasing quickly.
You said it yourself just now, non-GM is part of it, so you feel like there's room for both in the world.
There has to be. And I think people are making more and more of their food consumption and purchase decisions based on their values. People want non-GM food. That's okay. There's room for it. I think ultimately to feed a world that's going to 9 billion people, we have to have both. We have to have those solutions. But absolutely there's room for non-GM supply chains.
So tell me about what's going on at Cargill to help feed the planet.
Well, we're a global company. We're in 70 countries around the world. I often say to my colleagues, Cargill never sleeps. There's always something going on.
You're like New York City, right?
Exactly. I hadn't thought of that. The company that never sleeps.
Yeah.
But our mission is to be the leader in nourishing the world in a safe, responsible, and sustainable way. I consider us to be a purpose-driven company. We're a for-profit company, but it's agriculture, it's food, agriculture, and nutrition are our three primary areas of focus.
You're going to be involved in an upcoming panel, Unlikely Alliances in the Food System. Mm-hmm. And obviously, there are foodies that are not big, they're very small.
Yeah.
And there's Cargill, which is very big, and others that are large, and there's some in the middle. How do you work together? How do you all get on the same page?
Well, that's one of the things I'm going to talk about when I speak in a little while, which is you've got to have these uncommon or unexpected partnerships. And I think there was a time when people kind of stayed in their own corner and they did their own thing. But if we're going to feed the world, if we're going to be more sustainable as a planet, as an industry, food and agriculture, you've got to work with governments, NGOs, people that have expertise and viewpoints, frankly, that you don't have. And so we have a lot of alliances around the world. For example, we're involved with something called the Midwest Row Crop Collaborative with Walmart, with the Nature Conservancy, World Wildlife Fund, Environmental Defense Fund, Kellogg's, General Mills, to help farmers in the Midwest around the Mississippi River Basin with soil health, more efficient use of pesticides and chemicals, which end up running off into the water. So how can we make, in that particular example, the Midwest farmer more sustainable?
It's not just the pesticides that run off into the water, it's the nutrients.
Correct.
It's the nitrogen and the phosphorus that are creating algae blooms, and we have to work on that as well.
We do, and we think we have a role there. So we don't own farms. We work with farmers to help them get their products to market, to get from where they're grown to where they're needed to be consumed. We help them manage their risk. But we think as in our involvement in the supply chain as an agriculture and food company, we can help in that regard.
So speaking of the supply chain, how do we help nourish not just the people in our country who need it, but the entire world?
Well, that's the challenge, and I think you think about North America and the breadbasket of the Midwest, and then South America, Brazil, Argentina. You've got wheat production in Australia, for example, and in the Black Sea region. So there's some primary production areas of the world where food is grown. And to your point, Mike, how do you get them to where it's needed, to where people are hungry, undernourished, and need the nutrition? That's our role, is creating supply chains, and we're an advocate, as it might not surprise people, for open trade. Open trade doesn't mean the death of jobs in North America. It means you can get food to where it's needed.
So again, along that line, what's the largest or the greatest opportunity right now, do you think?
I think I think Africa presents a huge opportunity. A country of 1 billion people that is not self-sustaining in terms of growing its own food, where there's so many malnourished and undernourished people. And we're very active in farmer education in Africa, teaching them really what our modern farming techniques as it's known to North America and Europe, for example.
All right, and I have to bring this up because you mentioned to me earlier that you grew carrots and you enjoyed doing that. That was a long time ago, though, right?
It was a long time ago. It was right here in Chicago in the northern suburbs. I grew them in a milk carton for a science class. I love carrots. Eat them. They're good for your eyes.
Vitamin A, baby.
Exactly.
All right, thank you for watching another live stream. Thank you so much, David McLennan. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Thanks, Mike. Nice to meet you.
And stick around for more live streaming on Facebook. We'll be back next coming up is Kevin Cleary, CEO of Cliff Bar and Company. And by the way, go to www.foodtank.com for live streaming of our panels. We'll be back in a little bit.